You are welcome to yet another episode of LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. In the effort to hold R. Kelly accountable for the falsely applied RICO charges, the Brooklyn federal court judge met serious resistance from R. Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bonjean, who filed a post-trial motion that contested the bogus charges, arguing that the government did not provide sufficient evidence to prove an illegal enterprise. Indeed, reading through the trial transcript carefully will reveal that no illegal enterprise existed, even though the Brooklyn federal judge Ann Donnelly together with her jury of 12 managed to conclude that Robert was guilty for these particular charges. When confronted with Bonjean's post-trial submission, the New York judge's response only serves to indicate that she doesn't read as much as a federal judge should, and if she ever read the statement of the RICO Act, she must have read only a part of it and left out very important information. The RICO Act spells out the description of an enterprise and the fact that the members of this enterprise must be jointly involved in a common purpose to push an illegal agenda. But Judge Ann Donnelly responds to Bonjean's submission and says the government did not have to prove an enterprise because it already existed in R. Kelly's music business management team. This is proof that Judge Ann Donnelly does not have a proper understanding of this particular act. Either she is new to it, or she must have read it backwards. What likely confused her is the idea that even R. Kelly's music business management team is indeed an organized business entity, and the RICO may not differentiate between legal and primarily illegal enterprises. The precondition, however, is that this enterprise, legal or illegal by formation, must have adopted a common purpose to commit crime. Meaning that if the enterprise in question is a legal business, it must have come to a point when it diverted its agenda into illegal business practices still as a joint team for the RICO charge to apply. In R. Kelly's case though, there isn't such a time when his business management team transitioned into an enterprise purposed for illegal activity. The fact that R. Kelly was accused alone in New York, and that even the two co-accused in Chicago were duly acquitted proves this. Without a common purpose to engage in the act of recruiting underage women for illicit business or any other illegal activity, therefore, R. Kelly's team falls short and just doesn't qualify as an illegal enterprise. By saying it wasn't necessary for the government to prove an enterprise, federal judge Ann Donnelly concedes defeat on behalf of the plaintiff, as she indirectly confirms without knowing that indeed the government did not prove an illegal enterprise. Any sane appeal court judge cannot miss her statement, and we are confident that the RICO violation charges against R. Kelly will eventually be dropped. The New York judge confessed that indeed the government did not prove an enterprise, which is a prerequisite for the RICO charges to apply to any defendant, and unknowingly, she gave away an easy win to the defense. Just how could she think that anyone could be charged with RICO violation without proof of an illegal enterprise, yet the basis of the law was to crack down on illegal enterprises? By proceeding to declare R. Kelly guilty for RICO violation, Judge Ann Donnelly indirectly suggests that for as long as a person suspected on any crimes also belongs to any legal organization, to illustrate, say a country director of a non-governmental organization is involved in any criminal acts, the person can be charged with RICO violation. Only jobless offenders, therefore many, survive the RICO charges, but for as long as the offender belongs to any legal corporation, they will suffer the wrath of this piece of legislation, says Donnelly. And again, when Judge Ann Donnelly was served with a post-trial submission from Jennifer Bonjean that suggested the government had failed when it came to proving an enterprise, she had the choice of either insisting that according to the trial transcript and its interpretation by the jury, the enterprise was proven, and the appeal on this would be an argument between the government and the defense as to whether the proof was sufficient or not. But by admitting that indeed the plaintiff had not proven an enterprise when she said they didn't have to, she made Bonjean's work easy and didn't help the government's case at all, and any appeal court judge who read this should be quick to dismiss the racketeering charges against R. Kelly. According to Steve, it's one thing for the judge to insist that the defendant was guilty of RICO, even if it wasn't the case. But it's also another thing for her to adamantly say the government needed not prove him guilty, which she did. Proving an illegal enterprise is a prerequisite when it comes to charging any defendant with RICO. What she did is equivalent to saying she can charge a suspect and convict them with murder without proving that the alleged victim is dead. How is this even possible? This is the kind of conclusion we would expect from an ordinary citizen who never went to law school or bothered to read a law book of any kind. In fact, the actual words written by Judge Ann Donnelly in her response to Bonjean were as follows. The government was not required to prove a common purpose of illegal or fraudulent activity for as long as the persons associated in fact share a common purpose, including the purpose of promoting defendant's music brand. This made the entire RICO Act sound vague and bogus for what it isn't. It appears the New York judge has her own definition of a RICO violation different from what the statute outlines. According to Belinda, from Bonjean's appeal statement, she too mentions that the New York court indeed conceded when the judge claimed the government needed not prove a common illegal purpose. Listening to all resources online which describe the RICO charge and reading from the law books, none leaves out the element of a common illegal purpose which must be proven before declaring anyone guilty. It appears the government together with the DOJ are now into the business of creating custom laws tailor-made for celebrities such as R Kelly because their application of this RICO charge remains rather unique for him alone, even if the same could have applied to defendants like Fox News boss who occupied a similar position as Kelly. He too was accused of sex-related crimes, and was a member of the Fox News organization which technically managed his day-to-day operations. Looking at the facts as they are now, since Roger Ailes was found guilty of these crimes yet also a member of the legal business enterprise Fox News that operates a common legal purpose, he too could have qualified for Ann Donnelly's RICO charges, but guess what? It was not applied to him because it's just not what the act says. There is no doubt that the version of RICO that was described by the New York court is only uniquely developed to suit R Kelly in a special way that cannot apply to any other U.S. citizen. This tantamounts to selective injustice, which is a form of prejudice at the highest degree. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.